Next part that we have in mechanical settings window is segment and size. Through this important item, we would be able to specify the type of our pipes that we want to use in a project and their size as well. Again, this is a very important item which Revit users who work with mechanical disciplines should be familiar with. And when we click on this item, we would see several parts. For example, the first one is segment. As I mentioned earlier, through this one we can specify the type of our pipes, and it includes settings such as the type, materials, and the roughness of our pipes. See, we have different settings here. For example, let's say we have used or we have set a pipe here. The type is push fit. Now, if we take a look at this part, we can see several sizes for it. Then in here, we can find out what type we have or what segment. For example, it's EN1124. So in MS window, I'm going to go ahead and select 1124 here. We would be able to see its particular settings here as well. Then, as you can see, we have the ability to remove the segments that we don't need anymore, or we can create some new ones. We're going to discuss these later on in more detail. All right, moving on to properties. It has two sub-items. Roughness, which is very important when it comes to, for example, pipe sizing. Then we have segment description. We can use this part to specify some you can say notes, definition, explanations about the segments that we want to use in our project. Okay, next up we have the catalog. As you can see, it has 5 columns. As you can see, the first column is titled Nominal. It categorizes the pipes that we have based on their diameters and actually based on the unit system that you are working with in your own region. Okay, so this was nominal. Next column is ID or interior or end diameter. More precisely, the interior diameter of the pipe. Then we have OD, which is the outwards diameter of the pipe. And the difference between these two parameters specifies the thickness of our pipes. Let me open up this image to demonstrate better. Okay, I'm gonna select this. Now, this would be our ID or interior diameter. And this one is OD. Now, let's say, for example, the OD is 55 millimeters. And then for ID, we have 49 millimeters. Well, let's say in markets, they actually call this like pipe number 60. So in fact, this would be its trading or marketing diameter. Okay, so these are the concepts that we have talked about in this table here. All right, next column is used in size list. This column displays some specific sizes for a particular pipe that we are using in a project. For example, we have 50 to 200. I'm going to deactivate 200 here, as well as 82. Okay, now I'm going to select pipe. Again, I'm going to go with push fit. And if I open up the size list here, we can't find 82 and 200 anymore. This is actually quite important because sometimes during a project you might need to work with a pipe which has like a specific size. Which needs a specific size. So in order to increase your accuracy and focus and also decrease the amount of unintentional mistakes during your work, you can specify the sizes that you might need in the project. All right, let's move on to our next column, which is titled Used in Sizing. Let's go back to our viewport here to see what this item exactly does for us. Let's say we have some warm water pipes. I'm going to try to select this whole piping system here. Okay. Now up here we can see this item, pipe or duct sizing. Through this item we would be able to manage and specify the sizings or the sizes that we might need in the project. Now the pipe type that we have here is generic. Let me just check it. Yeah, it's generic. So if I open up MS window and then select generic from this list here, we would see that we have so many different sizes that we can use for it. We don't really need used in size list here because the pipes are already created. But what if we wanted to use sizing? I mean, we don't really want to calculate all of these sizes here. So we can actually deactivate the sizes that we don't really find necessary here, or we can actually create a limitation for ourselves. For example, let's say we want sizes all the way to 65 maybe. Now, when we wanted to create the pipes, it'll work based on some sort of an algorithm, and the algorithm is based on these limitations that we have set here. And we can always modify or change the algorithm by changing this limitation. For example, we can add more sizes here, like this. But for now, I'm just going to deactivate these sizes. Alright, back in our viewport, I'm going to reselect the pipe system here. Again, the duct pipe sizing would be activated. Later on in our course, we're going to discuss this more completely. Okay, let's click on it. First, we have sizing method here. We can go with either friction or velocity. You know what? I'm not gonna set anything here until we reach it in our course. So let's just click on OK. And it'll start creating the pipes that we need. For example, the diameter of this pipe is 50 and the rest are 20, I guess. Let me just check them all. Oh, this is 15. All right. So as you can see, the sizes of our pipes are set here completely automatically. And you can always specify more details to get better and more accurate results.